Students, can you believe it's already towards the end of the week now, and I'm going to be sharing answers to the plant variety workbook pages. So this first page, there really wasn't anything to answer. We had talked about it before, the different environments where plants live, dry environments or wet environments, and then in between as well. Okay, on this side, let's just kind of go through this. What plant lives in a desert? That would be a cactus. What characteristic helps it to live in a desert would be how it can store water because it doesn't rain very often in the desert. What two plants might live in a rainforest? Philodendron and pitcher plant, which were shown on the previous page. What characteristic helps the philodendron live in a rainforest? Well, it has huge leaves. And if we look at that again, that's because the rainforest has a thick canopy and it blocks out a lot of the sun. So actually, down on the ground where these philodendrons would live, they wouldn't be getting much sun. So these nice broad leaves are going to be able to catch all the sun. You know, there's not much sun, but they'll catch as much sun as they can to help keep that plant alive. And then some more questions. We mentioned how there's three basic parts of a plant: the roots, the stem, and the leaves. How are plants different? Well, their three basic parts can look very different. Yes, they can. Why do you think God made so many types of plants? Well, God does love variety, and he likes us to enjoy variety as well. Yeah, that's very true. And we talked about roots last time, when some have many fibrous roots that are just kind of long and thin, and then some can be long and thick, like the tap roots of a carrot and other plants like that. We mentioned how stems can be all kinds of different shapes, and even the trunk of a tree is considered a stem. On this page, we had mentioned how bulbs would be like onions and potatoes would be an example of a tuber, some differences there. This would be an English ivy. Oh, and I mentioned it's evasive, meaning, boy, it can really take over. If you plant it somewhere, it'll just keep growing and growing. So a lot of people don't like to plant it because it can really just take over your whole yard. Then we had a yucca plant, which tends to live in a desert. Its roots grow deep in the ground. Notice it has a large taproot. It stores water in its roots, and then the ivy can climb trees as well. Okay. Down at the bottom, you had some true and false. Taproots are usually located in moist areas. Well, that's actually false because they go down deep into the ground so that they're able to collect as much water as they can. And plants like the yucca live in really dry environments quite often. A tuber is a thick underground stem like a potato. No, it's a kind of, let's see. I'm sorry, that would be true. It's a thick underground stem. Like potato would be an example of a tuber, sorry. Oh, and somebody said, I like French fries. Yeah, that come from potatoes. Mentioned the prickly pear cactus and poison ivy. There were facts there. On this side, more answers for the kinds of leaves. The large flat leaves would be the philodendron or banana leaves here. Philodendron over there, another variety. Sharp leaves, the English holly, which is popular at Christmas, and the cactus. Many thin leaves would be ferns. Show some ferns here. And colorful leaves like the coleus, the Venus flytrap, and the croton. Coleus, Venus flytrap, croton. They just have beautiful what are called variegated leaves with lots of different colors and patterns. On this page, we had flowers, and I was going to let you know what these are now. This is a mum, which is a very beautiful summer flower. This is a zinnia, also very beautiful. Kind of see the different variety of petals there. And then buttercups, which are kind of cup-shaped, is how they got that name. They come in nice colors as well. Yellow is a common color of those. They don't have any here. That's also there. I pointed out that these are daisies, perhaps Shasta daisies, but maybe another variety. It's hard to tell from this. Here's some pollinators, some butterflies flying around. On this page, it mentions more about pollinators. There's another butterfly that's attracted to a flower, probably doing some pollination. So butterflies and hummingbirds are examples of pollinators. A pollinator carries flower pollen to a flower pistil. This process is called pollination. And down at the bottom of the pistil is the ovule, which helps produce the new seeds for the flower. It says, so how does this all work together? Pollinators and plants benefit from their relationship. What does the pollinator get from the plant? What does the plant get from the pollinator? Well, the pollinator gets food from the plant, the nectar that's found in the flower petals. And what does the plant get from the pollinator? It gets to be pollinated so that seeds can grow for new plants to be produced. Why are there different colors, shapes, sizes, and smells of flowers? Well, the different colors, shapes, and sizes attract different pollinators, and different plants need different pollinators to get pollinated, depending on the shape of the flower and how that all, how it's all designed. So that's kind of a God created thing too, just in terms of how that all works. And then finally here, we talked about simple plants that don't produce seeds and don't have flowers, but they use spores, which are very tiny single cells that can produce a new flower. And there's different kinds here of those, the different ferns, the horsetail, the mosses. And then on this page, again, it mentioned simple plants do not have flowers and do not make seeds. Mosses do not have true roots either. And a fern makes spores on the underside of its leaves. Circle the part of the horsetail that makes spores. Well, it would be this little cone shape at the top is where the spores would be produced on the horsetail. Okay, I've kind of circled some of those. Okay, that's it for reviewing your workbook pages for this week. And good luck, and there'll be more. We'll finish up this chapter next week. Okay, thanks.